Yeah. Shh. Don't make eye contact. I move like truth in a crowded room, unnoticed, until it's too late. Snap, snap. File 1, hypocrisy. File 2, rejection. File 3, denial. Let's open the case. Let's open the case. Yeah. Look in the mirror, don't dodge that truth. All that preaching, but your hands stay loose. Talk accountability till it points at you. Then it's silence when the receipts come through. Uh-oh, karma, don't forget no names. Every screenshot still plays the game. You throw dirt, but you stay the same. I just let facts do all the flame. Yeah, I seen the shift when the narrative flip. Same voices loud, but they edited clips. Talking moral high ground with a shaky grip. Why they hide their own past in a broken zip. I don't need opinions, I read between lines. Watch how they switch when the pressure aligns. One day love, next day they sign on a pylon wave just to feel the line. But I came from blocks where the real don't fold, where you stand on truth even when it gets cold. Y'all build on hype, I build on soul. Then watch the whole story unfold. Yeah, I see it. Don't act holy now. Record scratch, click, 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 click. Look in the mirror, don't dodge that truth. All that preaching, but your hands stay loose. Talk accountability till it points at you. Then it's silence when the receipts come through. Uh-oh, karma, don't forget no names. Every screenshot still plays the game. You throw dirt, but you stay the same. I just let facts do all the flame. Now let's talk energy, let's talk intent. How every movement got the angle is spent. One voice sparks it, then the mob gets sent. But nobody asks where the truth really went. Funny how justice only loud when it's safe, but goes real quiet when it's their own case. I don't chase clout, I don't need that space. I let silence expose what they erase. You can't build real or fake outrage. Can't write truth from a scripted page. Karma's patient, don't rush that stage. But when it lands, it clears the cage. File closed. But the mirror still open. Snap. Funny thing about hate, the people that say they can't stand you know everything about you. Every live stream, every post, every move. That's not hate, that's obsession. Run it. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every stream, every word I speak. You know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me talking crazy, but you boosting me? You call it hate, I call it free publicity. You in the comments every day promoting me. Why you watching me? You say I'm fake, but you never miss a show. Notifications on front row, screenshot queen. Got photos on your phone, studying my life while neglecting your own. Every week another rumor gets spun. Same five people talking under everyone, claiming that they win it, claiming that they won. But somehow I'm still the topic every month. Ain't that funny? You know my schedule, you know my guests, you know my circle, you know my steps. Know every sentence, know every laugh, know every live stream, from beginning to last. Girl, that's work. She could've sent a resume. Spent 10 years watching me and still ain't get paid. Meanwhile I'm building while you sitting in rage, trying to stop my shine while giving me engagement. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every stream, every word I speak. You know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me talking crazy, but you boosting me? You call it hate, I call it free publicity. You in the comments streets, got detectives on patrol. Whole channel built around another woman's goals. Breaking down thumbnails, breaking down clothes, breaking down friendships, breaking down souls. Talking all day but accomplishing none. Living through drama like it's oxygen. Trying to recruit every bit of little frame, building fake armies that collapse in the end. See, I learned something. Misery needs company. Happy people don't spend years on a hunting spree. Successful folks ain't checking who I talk to. Successful folks too busy making boss moves. The math ain't mathing. Let's be factual. If I was irrelevant, why you so attached to me? If I was finished, why you still react to me? You built your platform off reacting to me. I don't fear criticism. Criticism helps people grow. But obsession, that's different. Imagine waking up every day to monitor somebody you claim you don't like. That's not power. That's a prison. And you built the cell yourself. Yeah. God got me walking and I know who I am. Can't no comment section cancel God's plan. People throw stones when they don't understand, but every attack on the strength is to stand. I pray for my enemies, wish them healing too, cause carrying that much anger got a cost to you. While you counting my blessings, I'm counting mine. While you studying my life, I'm improving mine. See the difference? One road builds, one road destroys. One creates peace, one just creates noise. And when the camera's off and the live stream ends, you still gotta face yourself, my friend. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every stream, every word I speak, you know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me? Keep talking, keep posting, keep obsessing, keep proving my point. Some people spend their whole lives trying to become somebody. Others spend their whole lives watching somebody become somebody. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Yeah. Ain't no more quiet now. Nah. Tell them run that back. I said, hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but they hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. Ooh. We ain't your silence, nah. We ain't your fear. Hey. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You can bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah. I'm from the side where the pressure make diamonds, where mothers pray hard cause the system stay violent. Kids learn trauma before they learn signs. Politicians campaign while communities dying. Look, everybody tweeting, everybody streaming, everybody woke till the camera stop beaming. Truth don't trend when the money intervening. That's why the real ones exhausted and screaming. Big change, fake morals, podium capping. Whole lot of hashtags, ain't nobody action. Trying to sell the vision with celebrity distractions. Meanwhile, rights disappear through strategic reactions. Close schools, close polls, close cases. Still see hate written all on their faces. History repeating, just switching the phrases. Different decades, same games, new stages. And they wonder why the people don't trust. Every headline feel dangerous to us. Every promise turned dust, but we still rise up, 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 rise up. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but their hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. Hey, we ain't your silence, we ain't your fear. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You could bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah, Now everybody playing God with the algorithms, programming narratives and calling it the system. Who decides truth? Who decides wisdom? If the future artificial, who protect the children? Too much rage in the timeline scrolling. Young minds vulnerable, anger overloading. Everybody radical when the fear keep growing and the world stay tense while the missiles stay loaded overseas. War drums, contracts get signed. Oil, power, money always hide behind pride. Poor folks pay while the billionaires glide. And the news turn trauma into primetime vibes. Talk peace with a smirk while the stocks go up. Tell the working class, hold on, but enough is enough. People tired, people broke, people fed up. Still they call us angry every time we stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Listen, it's bigger than left or right, bigger than red or blue. People just wanna live, people just wanna breathe, people just wanna matter. But every generation gotta drag justice uphill, while somebody profits off the chaos. That's the part they don't say out loud. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. True hit harder when the beat line rolls. Pain, self-fear to a soul that knows. Power to the people, let the whole world know. We ain't your silence, we ain't your shame. If the people wake up, everything changed. From the city to the globe, hear the whole crowd roar. You can't dim light when the spirit won't war. Rise up, even when they try to divide us. Rise up, even when the pressure find us. Yeah, yeah. Still here, still loud, still fighting. Love.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Golden, and Chowie is back with another live, y'all. We got some updates to do when it comes to politics, y'all know, per usual, and some housekeeping to do as well. But I hope everybody's having a good day. We're here a little bit later than usual. It's about 4:30 p.m. here Eastern time in the Carolinas in the United States, y'all. But I hope y'all are having an excellent day in whatever respectful time zone you're in, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night. It's pretty nice here, y'all. It's very hot outside, so I was out there for a little bit, but I had to come back in because I can't be doing the heat like that too much. But of course, you know, I have my lovely co-host here with me, Imani, and so I'm gonna go ahead and let her come on up. What is going on, girl? How you doing? How you feeling? How's the weather? What's the tea?
Well, we're in the middle of a heat wave, so it's hot, it's sticky, it's uncomfortable, but the sun is shining, and I shouldn't complain. Um, Apart from that, and some surprising political news, everything's okay. What about you?
It's pretty good. Like I said, it is hot here too. So I guess it's like a heat wave going on in both of our areas, because like it's about 95 outside today. I was out there earlier and I started melting. I couldn't do it. So I said I stayed out there for a little bit and I had to come back in and get back into the AC. But yeah, we are here, y'all. We made it. We made it. Thank y'all so much for joining us. What's up, Asher? How you doing, Asher? Hey, V Love. Thank you for coming in. We really appreciate that. We hope everybody is doing well. I hope y'all are having an excellent day. Y'all know we got to go ahead and kick it off with a little bit of housekeeping. And then after that, we do have some political updates to get into that we're going to bring and share for y'all. So, Imani, without further ado, you want to go ahead and kick it off with the housekeeping?
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is that obviously I went away yesterday, came back, and apparently we're about to get served by someone. So what I'm going to do is restrict my commentary to wait for these papers that are due to arrive this week. I'll be very interested to see what terms there are being used, but I'm happy. I'm happy if people feel, we live in a free, most of us live in a free country, or a lot of us live in a free country, not everyone. So people are free to take the action they deem appropriate, just like I've taken the action I deem appropriate. So I'm happy to see any paperwork and to accept any paperwork that's served. And that's all I got to say.
Right. I did hear that. We have heard some things, y'all, on the YouTube streets, very interesting indeed, Asher. Hey, the way I see it is do what you must do what you feel like you gotta do. But let's just talk about a few things real quick. So you want to attack me and my camp, right? You threatening to sue us because we did what? The unthinkable. What we literally did was hold up a mirror to show you guys how some of you YouTube content creators and supporters actually behave. Forget it. Sometimes when you look in the mirror, you don't like what reflects back. Now you're absolutely entitled to try and take legal action if your feelings is hurt. But can you actually prove what it is you're actually trying to take legal action for? Because out here in the real world, facts matter. And if you think you're so entitled to the protections of the law, what makes you think no one else is? You don't hold a monopoly on rights. We see everything, we hear everything, and honestly, we are just sitting back here. That's my dog, y'all, kicking up our feet and enjoying the show. It's genuinely sad when people try to play internet lawyer without actually knowing how the law works inside and out. And oh
No,
yeah,
Golden, I need to correct you there. We don't know who they're using for their legal advice, so we can't say they're
I
paying
didn't
a
say we know
lawyer.
who they're using for their legal advice. I said when you don't know the law inside and out.
No, but the point is, I'm not going to debate whether they have a case or not. And I don't really want to get into anything to do with a lawsuit because we can just wait for the paperwork. And this is not necessary for us to debate on air. Like I said, I don't believe these things are content. What I'm trying to say is they're entitled to sue if they feel they have a case, and I just await the paperwork. I don't want to expand this into content that people want to feel they respond to because it's not something we should be going back and forth with. A lawsuit is a serious thing. That's all I'm trying to say. And since I'm in it, you're in it, and other people have been named in it, I think it's best to wait until the paperwork arrives. That's just my belief because I do not want to have anything unnecessary added into this. That's my belief. That's why I believe that we should keep our powder quiet, and just let the law take its course. That's all we can do. There's nothing more we can do. If someone says they're going to sue you, they're going to sue you. And they have said they're not saying anything more about this. And I think that I actually like that because that was what I said yesterday. That's all I'm trying to say. There's more than us involved in this. There are 5 people that they say they are suing. That's that's how I believe that we should deal with the matter. I don't want to do this on air. I really don't. Not when it comes to lawsuits. I know you disagree with me, but that is the thing about
Of
us. We
course
have
I
to.
do, and you know I disagree, but that's why I'm
I
staying
don't want
silent.
to talk about any lawsuit that concerns other people on air. We have to respect the fact that they have included other people in this lawsuit, and we haven't seen any paperwork. Honestly, seriously, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. I just think that we need to consider that they're including other people and saying that we're working with other people, so we need to see the paperwork. They don't need to justify why they do it, and I'm not going to justify what a response is. They have a choice and they're entitled to sue. That's it. That's what I believe. And
Sue
that's
for what?
it.
That's my question. What are you suing for?
Yeah. Well, when the paperwork arrives, we will see what they're suing us for. That's all we can do is wait for the paperwork. I don't want to do this on air. I really don't, because if we
It's
are going to do this on air,
not.
I'm going to get off the air. That
Let's just
I will say this from a legal perspective. I will get off the air if we're going to do this on air. I don't want to do
let's
this
just
on air.
move on. I don't care. Somebody want to hold up a mirror to you, let you see what you look like.
Really
How can
getting
you
off
see?
there, Golden. I'll see you later.
All right. Thank you. Take care. But anyway, yeah, this is what's going on. This is what these people are doing. Hey, it is what it is. I don't understand how people feel as though they can weaponize the law against you because they're in their feelings and emotions because of something that you said. And put up a mirror for these people to see the things that they do, and it's actually what they've done. How can you sue against somebody when it comes to that? And if all we do is sit up here and talk the truth and put up a mirror and show you guys what these people do, I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me from the camp where I come from. But again, we'll be respectful about that. I'm moving on with the content. That will wrap up housekeeping. All of this legal stuff and this law stuff, honestly, on this YouTube platform is really whack to me. I don't get into it. I don't do it. It's not my life. It's not my story. I came here to make content. I came here to meet people and have a good time. I don't want to have to be going through legal bouts with people. And not especially because you just say something that they don't like, or you put a mirror up to them and show them exactly what they do and how they move and operate on this platform. So let the people do what they must. I will check the mailbox and see what it is y'all sending to me and what it is exactly that I've done wrong legally. If I've only been telling the truth and putting the mirror up to show y'all actions and behaviors. That's it. That's all. That's all I've ever said. That's how I've ever felt. These are games that are being played. People are weaponizing the law and don't even know the law. I'm not going to play these games with people. I don't play those type of games because I know the law. So have at it. Do what you must. Again, you need evidence and facts and proof for what it is you're trying to prove. And guess what? The law doesn't do. Take certain things seriously when you just get upset because somebody embarrassed you on a YouTube social media platform. You're wasting their time and their dollars, and they're not going to have it. So if you don't have solid evidence and facts that somebody has done something criminal to you, all of that swinging that around, that's real cute. And that's just how I feel. I'm sorry. I have to speak from my heart and from my mind. Y'all remember, we told you before, my mom is a paralegal. We know about the law. And again, you also have to remember, laws, yes, are different when it comes to different states. We live in the United States. I know about the law in the country that I live in. Other people's countries can't necessarily speak on it. But I think it's really cute that they like to throw these things around because they get in their feelings because they're embarrassed. That's all I got to say on that. Anyway, I will move on. The mirrors are all cracked. Absolutely cracked. Definitely damaged. Not my fault. This is what these people have decided to do. This is what they chose as decisions to make on this platform. Not me. So let's move forward. Anyway, if Imani, you want to return, you can return. I'm moving on past the housekeeping. I'm getting into the content, but I will say what it is that I need to say and how I feel, and that's how I feel. So again, let's move on. Let's move on. It's getting very tense, very very tense. Why should it be so tense when you've done nothing wrong? What is the tension about? I don't have any tension. Anyway, let's move forward, y'all. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of what we'll be talking about on this live, y'all. Of course, as you can see in the thumbnail, we have some updates here. Now, we were supposed to be starting out with a lot of the updates from the UK. And Imani, I know you were supposed to be reporting on that. Would you like for me to read it, or did you want to come back and read that? You know, if you're not comfortable, it's okay. I can do it. I can read through all of the things. But yeah, we have some updates when it comes to the UK Prime Minister, because he stepped down and he resigned. So we'll be talking a little bit about that on the live. We also will be finishing off, y'all, and y'all know we listened to Michelle Obama's speech, but we didn't get to Barack Obama's speech, and we'll be listening to that as well. We also will be getting into a little bit of, you know, some geopolitical shifts, as far as when it comes to Iran and how they have agreed to readmit UN nuclear monitoring. And we'll also be talking about, and y'all know this was a big one, around the Karmelo Anthony case, and the evidence versus the Black MAGA agenda. So we had some coverage on that we wanted to bring to you as well. And yeah, if people want to say, if you want to give people their props for what it is that they've done, if you want to call this person a legend, Clive Davis is now passed away at 94 years old. So we were going to tap into a little bit of that and talk about that as well. And per usual, we have some videos to bring to you. We'll be closing out with Barack Obama's speech. But yeah, we're starting off with UK Prime Minister, and I don't even know if I can pronounce the name properly, so I'm gonna try to. Keir Starmer announced a sudden resignation. So, in a dramatic address outside 10 Downing Street, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer officially announced his resignation as Labour leader and will step down as Prime Minister by September, becoming the sixth Prime Minister to exit in just a decade. The announcement was forced by a massive loss of confidence within his own party, completely brought to a head by resounding local by-election losses. Starmer leaves office with historically low public approval ratings. And what does this internal collapse mean for the future of the United Kingdom? And how does this vacuum of leadership lead everyday working people hanging? So yeah, we were going to go ahead and get into that first. Let me go ahead and pop this up real quick. I do have a quick video that I'm going to show y'all. Let me see if I can find it right here. We'll listen to some of the speech that he had made as far as him resigning and stepping down. So let me get this set up in just a moment. Put this up on the screen for y'all, and we'll listen to it together. And you know, per usual, we will meet y'all in the chat. But yeah, I am interested to know, you know, what really is going on when it comes to the UK and their prime minister stepping down. But we'll get into it, y'all, in just a minute. Give me a sec to get everything pulled up here. Yeah, Imani, did you want to go ahead and cover this? We're not, the housekeeping is done. We're not talking about any of that other stuff. But I know that, you know, this is here in the country that you live in. So I wanted to see if you wanted
You
to
want me
cover
to talk
this and
about the
give some
UK
insight on
PM?
what's going on before we play the video.
Yeah. Can I just
Yes,
make
yes,
something really clear
yes,
to everybody out there?
yeah.
My silence is not fear. My silence is candor. I want papers delivered because they've been promised to be delivered. Once those papers are delivered, there'll be a response to that because someone has said they're going to sue 5 people Not only me, you, and Mama D, also Ralph and Shah. There are other people involved in this. Therefore, I don't want to talk about it because anything that anything that you can say that might be innocuous could jeopardize other people's position. And that's what I'm considering. I have nothing, absolutely nothing to fear about any lawsuit coming from anybody about actions in discord, defamation, or anything. Silence is never fear. Silence is allowing the person to speak who says they're going to serve me. Once they serve me, they'll get a response to that serve. That's all. That's all. And that's all I wanted to say, that I'm not saying anything until they serve, all five of us. So anyway, moving on swiftly, um, the UK Prime Minister resigned today. I think it was something that had been highlighted for a few weeks that it might happen. I just think I don't think there was any pre-warning on his announcement. But the reason why he's resigned is because there's mounting pressure within the Labour Party following poor election results, um, poor election performances, decline in public approval, and internal divisions, and the rapid rise of the Reform Party, which is the right-wing party. He said that stepping down was necessary for a reset before the next general election. Most analysts are pointing to four key things: the cost of living frustrations that remain high, the NHS and public service pressures continued. Also, their immigration policies continue to be damaging. Labour's support base is fragmented, but the UK Reform Party, which is headed by Nigel Farage, has gained a lot of momentum. Now, the front runners are Andy Burnham. He's the clearest front runner. He's widely viewed as the favourite. His strengths are strong regional leadership. He was the mayor in Manchester. He's popular with Labour members, and he's seen as someone who can reconnect Labour with working class voters. And he's positioned himself as a direct challenge to the Reform UK's appeal. Second person that they're talking about is Angela Rayner. Her strengths are she's got strong support amongst Labour activists. She's seen as authentic and relatable, and she appeals to the Labour's traditional voter base. The challenges she may have is she may struggle to unite all factions of the party. Third one is Wes Streeting. He's popular with some centrists and reform-minded Labour figures, and he's associated with NHS reform. Challenges he may face are polling amongst Labour members appears weaker than Burnham and Rayner. Other names that have been mentioned are the husband and wife team, Yvette Cooper and Ed Miliband. At the moment, Burnham seems to have this significant advantage. He's just won his local election by about a 20-point margin. What's happened in the market? Sterling initially dipped, but later stabilized. Investors appear to believe that the transition will be orderly rather than chaotic. The stock market, it remained stable and even posted some modest gains. When we look at government bonds, which is the cost of borrowing, obviously, bond yields moved higher briefly before coming back down. Markets are watching for is really, will the next Prime Minister maintain Labour's fiscal discipline, or move forward to higher public spending. He's a big lover of, high tax and high spending. But what does this mean for the UK? We've had 7 prime ministers in roughly 10 years, and there's growing frustration with both major parties. Reform UK has fundamentally altered the political landscape, and Labour is now facing a big battle for its identity. Economically, political uncertainty can affect investment decisions. Markets prefer predictability. The next Labour leader is going to inherit slow economic growth, high public debt, NHS pressures, housing shortages, and immigration challenges. Big question, is Keir Starmer's resignation a temporary Labour setback, or is it evidence that British politics is entering a completely new era where traditional party loyalties are no longer hold? So we had big two, like you guys have the Democrats and the Republicans, and Reform UK has thrown a spanner in those works. That's what I can say for now. I will bring you more when I know more. Okay.
Thank you
That's
so
it for
much for
me.
that introduction, Bonnie. Okay. Thank you for giving us some background and some inside information about what is happening here. We're gonna go ahead and play this video and this clip real quick, so we can see exactly what is going on. But yeah, he has stepped down and resigned. So let's go ahead and get into this video, and we'll meet y'all in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you. Walking up this street 2 years ago was the proudest moment of my life. A new Labour government, the first in 14 years. A page in our country's history turned after years of disappointment and despair. The chance to change the lives of millions of people for the better. That's what I came into politics for. The journey to that point was not easy. 6 years ago, I inherited a Labour Party that was politically, financially, and morally bankrupt. I was told time and time again that my party was finished, that we were consigned to history, that a majority at the general election, let alone a landslide majority, was impossible. But we proved those people wrong because we changed our party, ripping out the poison of anti-Semitism, restoring trust on the economy, defence and national security, and becoming a party that once again stood proudly with, not against, our national flag. The hard work of change was with a singular purpose, not power for power's sake, but to change Britain for the better, to build a fairer country with dignity and respect, where everyone is seen, everyone is valued, wealth and opportunity for all, not just the privileged few. And look at what we've achieved in just 2 years. An economy that is stronger, growing faster than our peers, wages rising faster than inflation in every single month since we came to power, investment secured, infrastructure being built, an end to austerity with the fastest fall in NHS waiting lists for 17 years, the biggest improvement in rights for workers and renters in a generation, the biggest uplift in defence spending since the Cold War, small boat crossings falling, asylum hotels closing, protecting young people from social media, and 500,000 children being lifted out of poverty because of the choices that I made. Our reputation in the world restored, with Britain once again standing up for decency, respect, and the rule of law, securing trade deals, standing with Ukraine, standing up for our values, and rebuilding our relationship with our allies in Europe. Change promised by a Labour government, change fought for by a Labour government, change delivered by a Labour government. But I know the question being asked now is not who was best placed to change the Labour Party, to take us into power and to begin the vital work of improving lives for millions of people. Those questions have been answered. The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace. Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision. I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July and completed by the summer recess. In the case of a contest, this will ensure a new leader is in place before Parliament returns in September. I will remain in post as Prime Minister until the contest is complete, and I will do everything I can to ensure an orderly handover of power. I will also give my successor my full and unequivocal support, knowing that they will inherit a Britain that is far stronger and fairer than the one I inherited 2 years ago, better prepared for the challenges ahead, and better able to ensure the Labour Party secures a second term in office. I want to thank all of those friends and colleagues who have been at my side for these past 6 years or so, for their incredible commitment, service, and support. I want to thank the brilliant Number 10 staff and our country's extraordinary civil service who dedicate their lives to public service. And when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife, Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad, and being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
All right, y'all. So that was, a very emotional speech from the Prime Minister, letting us know that he's going to be stepping down. And as Imani, basically told us previous to that video, is that this has been, the seventh, 7 and 10 years Prime Minister that they have lost. That is a lot. But, these things happen. We can't be sure why. It is what it is. We got over here in the U.S. When it comes to like our presidents and stuff, child, they be trying to prove a point, so they don't step down when they need to step down. They stay in there for too long, if you ask my opinion. But, you know, in other countries, they do it differently. But before we get into the next topic, we got to pop in and talk about Iran and some things with these nuclear weapons. We'll get into that in just a moment, right after this song break, y'all. I got to go fix my little bud a little snack real quick. And so I'm going to play a quick song and we'll be right back, okay? Bear with me, I'll be right back.
The soul of humanity cries. A roof above, a shelter from the storm, a gentle hand to keep a spirit warm, a plate of food, a mind that's free to learn, a simple peace, a righteous wage to earn. That's right. These are the needs to bedrock and the base, the sacred ground of the whole human race. But the screen is screaming, selling something cheap, while the real world babies cry themselves to sleep. Can't ignore it. We are human. Blood and bone and soul. Say it loud. With a right to be loved. The right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our slave. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. It's where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. Beyond the hateful whispers and the loaded gun. Yeah, they're painting pictures, twisted and unreal, teaching our children how they ought to feel. All that value's in the label on your shoes, or the filtered life you desperately choose. They magnify the hate, they celebrate the greed, and plant a poison to suffocate your weed. We gotta reach our children, pull them from the glow and show them a beauty that the media don't know. Let them know. No take the vision, the mission of the television, spitting the vision, a mental prison. Got the youth chasing life's addicted to the feed, ignoring the hunger, the fundamental need. They love their vitals on the digital stage, putting the future artists in the ritual page. Now they're gonna break the cycle, gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mightier than the source. We teach them about their history, teach them about their grace, teach them about the power in every single face. Let's go. We are human. Loud and blown and soul. Everyone with a right to be loved. The right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our story. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. There they all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. The other hateful whispers and the loaded gun. You will build a world where every voice is heard. Every single one, from the suburbs to the burning. Love is not a whisper, but a mighty thundering word. A word of action, breaking the chain. A word of power, washing out the pain. It ain't a feeling, it's a verb. It's watching you, for me, for them, for us, for you. Cause they just a track, just a call to action. For every mother, father, every single fraction of the good unity, holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look your child in the eye, tell her that they matter. Tell them this spirit's something that don't lie and shine. That's what the knowledge is the weapon, love is the shield, and the truth is the harvest. We gonna grow in this field, yeah. We are human. Oh yes, we are. Teach for children. Learn fast. Teach for truth. Reach where you hit the rules in a fruit. We are human. A right to live. Right Yeah. They handed us the script, but we don't gotta read it no more. Yeah. Same old story, different page. Same old ink on a different stage. Got my own people on the corner, pushing me closer to the edge with rage. Willie Lynch probably laughing in his grave. Seeing centuries later, we still enslaved. House divided, envy contagious. The blueprint still working. Ain't that outrageous? Yeah. Stack the odds, casino game. Bet against ourselves just to chase some fame. Another brother falls, everybody crying. Last week behind closed doors, they was quietly plotting, trying to dim his light, cause his future too bright. Crabs in the bucket pulling down every flight. Generational wounds pass hand to hand, fighting each other instead of the man with the plan. Iron chains became gold links, different metal, same prison when nobody thinks. Freedom ain't jewelry, freedom is soul. Can't buy liberation if your spirit been sold. We just echoes in the barrel, spinning circles every day. History whispers softly, but we keep looking away. Now we acting every part. Time to break the cycle, time to heal the broken heart. This ain't the dream they marched for. This ain't the future they could see. This whole thing was a setup. It's time we set ourselves free. Yeah. Same concrete soaked with tears. Same pain carried through the years. But we tear each other down for applause. Temporary likes while nobody heals. Call you a sellout when you lead a block. Soon as success make the whole world stop. But the real betrayal ain't broke the flight. It's poisoning your people out of envy and spite. You mad cause this watch gleam, mad cause our band gleam. Meanwhile the architects of the cage still counting money behind the scenes. They love the chaos, love the smoke, love watching families lose all hope. Another headline, another mother cry, another generation acting while they dying. The trap ain't poverty, the trap is division. The chains ain't visible, they're built from our decisions. We carry anger in our chests, years of trauma, years of stress, and pass it to our own bloodline. Instead of putting evil to rest, love became weakness, unity became strange, clout became currency. Everybody chained. Round and round we go. History keeps repeating, cause nobody let it go. But tonight we change the pulse, we build every hope. This ain't the life they believe. The chains only live if we choose not to leave. Let the echoes disappear, let the barrel finally break. Leave the hate where it belongs, for our children's sake. No more jealousy, no more self-destruction, no more borrowed hatred. It's unity or it's nothing. We free. We free. The air is thick with whispers, digital ghosts in the machine. They feed us fiction till our vision's blurred, you know the scene. Static on the screen, a 24-hour scream, selling us a fractured dream, tearing at the seams. They got us locked in little boxes, picking sides. while the real tide rises and nobody hides. Yo, podiums are burning, bridges turn to ash and dust. They trading rhetoric like bullets, banking on our lack of trust. Got us debating pronouns while the planet starts to rust. Got us obsessed with power, drowning in our own disgust. Politicians playing chess with pawns that look like you and me, selling off the future for a bump in their damn GDP. And what we talking about, the foolishness, the vanity, fighting over AI songs, the height of our insanity. A fake voice on a fake beat gets more rage and more ink than a real bomb dropping on a city while we blink. They engineered the outrage, designed it to divide, so we never look up from our phones to see the coming tide. Oh, can you hear the war drums pounding out a rhythm low? They're marching us to battle for a God we do not know. They want us choosing colors, but our blood all runs the same. Just strangers in a mirror whispering a different name. I'm praying for the day the sun won't care what shade we are. That we can see the human heart behind the battle scar. Tear down the flags and see the faces before we run out of safe places. I see the babies born into this atmospheric hate, taught to fear they neighbor before they learn to conjugate. Lines drawn in the sand by hands that never touch the soil, while the working class backbone is bent in endless toil. From Ferguson to Palestine, from Keir to the Sudan. Listen, it's the same damn story, part of the same damn plan. Keep the people fighting over scraps upon the floor, so they never band together and demand a slice of more. They call it patriotism, tradition, call it pride. I call it ancient venom with a modern place to hide. Skin tone is the uniform they gave us for they war, but the soul inside the flesh is what we should be fighting for. And I'm tired, so tired of singing this eulogy. Oh, can you hear the war drums pounding out a rhythm low? They're marching us to battle for a God we do not know. They want us choosing colors, but our blood all runs the same. Just strangers in a mirror whispering a different name. I'm praying for the day the sun won't care what shade we are. That we can see the human heart behind the battle scar. Tear down the flags and see the faces before we run out of safe places. What if we looked each other in the eye, past the melanin, past the zip codes and the bank accounts they fence us in? What if our only currency was empathy and grace? What if we found our real reflection in a stranger's face? This ain't a lyric, it's a lifeline that I'm throwing out. This ain't a song, it's the beginning of a different route. I'm a daughter of a struggle, a mother of a dream, to wash away the blood and poison from this bitter stream. So turn the volume down on all the noise they try to sell, and listen to that quiet voice inside you know so well. World War III is knocking, they're at the door, but it's not nation against nation anymore. It's ignorance against wisdom, it's love against the fear. The real war is right here.
About as Americans, the Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. That's exactly what we asked to happen. We made a lot of great progress on other nuclear talks. And that leads me to the final thing that we wanted to accomplish, which is actually set up the process for the technical negotiations that will follow. Our teams working with the Iranians, the Qataris, and the Pakistanis made great progress yesterday. They will continue to work at the technical level with the teams here in Bergenstock. And then those technical negotiations are going to continue over the weeks and days to come. We wanted to set up a structure for that so that you could have proper political oversight. But obviously, as much as this place is very beautiful, I can't stay here for the next 60 days. I'm about to go back home to the United States, but the technical teams are going to be working with proper oversight to make sure that we're accomplishing the objectives that matter for everybody. So those are the things that we wanted to accomplish. We came here, we did exactly that. The way that I think about it is very simple. We laid a very good foundation for a successful final deal. The final deal is the house. We set the foundation. We haven't built the house, but we've laid a successful foundation to get to a good place for the American people. I think it's important for all of us to appreciate how much was done, but honestly, there is still a lot to do as we continue to make progress on the nuclear talks, on the economic talks, as we continue to demine the straits and ensure that that flow of traffic continues to pick back up. A lot of progress, but still some work to do, and we're very committed to doing exactly that. So with that, I'm happy to take a few questions from guys in the audience. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's start with you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Did the president's threats yesterday really throw a wrench in negotiations? There were reports that the Iranians walked out at one point. Can you just clarify and tell us what happened?
No, they didn't throw a wrench in the system. The thing with the Iranians, yes, they did threaten to walk out, or at least there were social media threats that they would walk out. But we were negotiating well past 1 a.m. yesterday, so they didn't walk out. And their technical team is still here in Bergenstock working with our technical team actually as we speak, though I imagine maybe some of them are taking a break to watch this news conference. But look, what we told the Iranians yesterday is when you guys engage in what us millennials might call trash talk, you can't expect the president of the United States not to respond and not to correct the record. So when they say things that aren't true, the president is going to respond to it. I'm going to respond to it. Americans are going to respond to it. When they make threats that aren't rooted in reality, they have to accept that the president of the United States is actually going to set the record straight. That's all that happened. So yes, there was a little bit of threatening, there was a little bit of whining, but at the end of the day, the talks continued and we made great progress.
Nuclear inspectors, when do you expect them to be welcomed into Iran? Is there a time frame that you guys are looking at? And also in terms of when we could see this entire conflict end, do you think this can end by the midterm elections?
Well, look, right now the conflict is in its ceasefire, and certainly our hope is that we get to the final deal and a permanent settlement. But right now, I think we've made great progress, and we should all celebrate that. In terms of when the nuclear inspectors are going to start, it's funny, we were trying to call some of the inspectors last night around 2 a.m. As you can expect, not many people are answering their phone at 2 a.m. I expect that will happen at the minimum this week. But we think even some of those conversations with the inspectors and with the IAEA could happen as soon as today. But I haven't checked in with our team since we made that 2 a.m. phone call to some of those inspectors. Sorry.
Mr. Vice President. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Did you going in expect the Iranians to make Lebanon as much of a linchpin as they ended up doing? And how would you describe the progress on Lebanon? I know Mr. Arachi said it was very good progress, but what's your characterization of it?
Yeah, I would describe it as very good progress too. I mean, look, we want a regional ceasefire, right? We want Hezbollah to stop firing at our friends in Israel. We want Israelis to be able to live in peace. We also want to make sure that, you know, when things happen, they don't spiral into a broader escalation. And so we've been, I think, very good at setting up what we're calling a deconfliction mechanism. But what it really is to say that when things happen, the sides are actually talking to one another. Sometimes, you know, you got a bit of a chicken and egg problem, that you've got a junior guy who fires a drone that didn't have approval from the high command. Okay, of course, Israel has to respond to that. But then sometimes that response, we could actually have a better and more peaceful situation if Israel responds in the context of a conversation that's ongoing between Hezbollah, Lebanon, Israel, and other partners in the region. There really hasn't been a mechanism to have those discussions until basically around 4 p.m. yesterday, Bergenstock time, when we set that up. So what we're trying to do is to say, first of all, Israel and every other nation in the region has the right of self-defense, but we want to make sure that everybody has that right of self-defense in the background where we're talking about how to de-escalate these conflicts rather than spiraling out of control. Sometimes what will happen is that if the conflict spirals out of control, that's worse for everybody's self-defense and worse for everybody's security. So we've actually got the process in place to ensure that that escalation doesn't happen. Now, I will say you already see the fruits of that. Over the past 24 hours have probably been the most peaceful that we've seen the situation in Lebanon. The previous 24 hours were pretty good. Obviously, there was some shooting about 72 hours ago. So this is a work in progress. But what we've done is actually set up the operation so that we can ensure it doesn't spiral out of control in the future.
Does the U.S. want Israel to withdraw forces from southern Lebanon?
Well, we want Israel's security to be protected, and we also want Lebanon's sovereignty to be protected. And this is going to be an ongoing conversation. The Israelis have been very clear. They do not have territorial intentions on South Lebanon. The reason they feel they have to be there is because they're worried about Hezbollah fighters in South Lebanon firing into Israel. We do believe, of course, it's going to require a lot of hard work, that we can get to a place where Lebanon's territorial integrity and sovereignty is protected, Israel's security is protected, and that's going to require some coordination with the Lebanese armed forces, and also it's going to require the Iranians to rein in Hezbollah. That's all the sort of things that we were talking about yesterday, and again, I think that we got much further compared to where we were just 24 hours ago.
Have you spoken with Prime Minister Netanyahu during any of this process at all in the recent days?
Yeah, we were in constant contact with the Israelis yesterday, but also, of course, with the Saudis and the Emiratis and others in the region. We talked to the Lebanese yesterday as well. So we're constantly trying to keep our regional friends updated about this. This is not a deal that the United States is imposing on the region. This is a deal that the region has desperately asked the United States to put in place. Obviously, the headlines have been very focused about what's been going on between the United States and Iran, but this region has been a basket case for a very long time. And what the president has set us to do, again, lay the foundation, see if we can get to a permanent peace. If we can't, the president of the United States still has a lot of options to accomplish America's security objectives, but he has certainly committed us to this pathway for now, and we're going to keep on working and seeing what we can accomplish. And then I want to just, before we depart here, I want to say one last thing. I've seen some misreporting about frozen or unfrozen Iranian assets. One of the other things that we wanted to do, and wasn't as high of a priority for us for obvious reasons, but we wanted to make sure that we set up a process where if we ever unfreeze Iranian assets, we can ensure that that money, that Iranian money, goes to help the people of Iran and not to fund terrorism. So Jared Kushner actually came up with a very interesting solution with the Qataris, where basically, again, if there is any frozen Iranian assets that are unfrozen, then we have approval over that process. The Qataris have approval over that process. And then the money would actually go to buy American soy, American corn, and American wheat for the benefit of the Iranian people. And as much as I see some of the press misreporting on this, and of course, buttressed by what the Iranians are saying, or not all Iranians, I want to be clear, there are a lot of Iranians who are telling the truth about what happened yesterday, but you see some social media reporting that gets this wrong. But fundamentally, what Jared and the Qataris and the entire team here in Bergenstock accomplished is, to me, a classic Trump deal, where if Iranian assets are ever unfrozen, they're going to go to make American farmers richer and to feed the Iranian people. That's a very, very good and very classic Trump deal. That's great for our people, great for the people of Iran, and fundamentally, again, will contribute to this regional security architecture that we've built and that we're going to work very hard to ensure that it endures. So from Switzerland, thank you all for being here. I appreciate the questions and I appreciate the engagement. I'm looking forward to going back home, and we'll certainly keep everybody updated on what happens in the days and weeks to come. Thank you all.
Well, y'all. Here we go. Let me take that down real quick, and let's get into it. So before I have my thoughts, do you have any thoughts on this, Imani? We can't hear you. Okay, I can hear you now. Okay, yeah. Everything's acting weird today, so don't worry about it. But I can hear you now. Okay, now I can't hear you. Okay, now it dropped down. This is what I'm saying. It's so weird. Anyway, let's just keep going, y'all. I'm just trying to get through this live. It's okay. They want to stop you. They want to stop you. They want to slow you down. They want you to not be great. You won't get to do it. Anyway, so we're speaking here on some things that are happening between Iran and the US, and we know that, right? So basically, Vice President JD Vance announced from a resort in Bergenstock, Switzerland, that Iran has agreed to let the United Nations nuclear watchdog inspectors, the Internal Atomic Energy Agency, back into the country. But let's talk about the long-term nuclear monitoring. Completely broke down last year in 2025 after the US and Israel launched military strikes directly targeting Iran's main nuclear facilities, Fordow, Natanz, and Afahan. If I'm saying that, Isfahan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. In retaliation, Iran locked out the UN inspectors and hid their highly enriched uranium stockpiles. So, the Trump deal and the quid pro quo. To get the inspectors back in, Washington has to make a massive concessions. The U.S. Treasury is issuing a 60-day waiver lifting sanctions on Iran's oil, petrochemicals, and banking transactions so they can sell oil to China. Furthermore, the vital Strait of Hormuz maritime shipping lane is being fully reopened to lower global energy prices. But you got to do that, right? Because the people are fed up and these energy prices and cost of goods are way through the roof. And so now they are basically backpedaling. Okay. So here's the crop catch. Vance proudly announced a framework conceived by Jared Kushner and mediated by Qatar, stating that Iran's newly unfrozen overseas asset can only be spent on humanitarian goods, specifically buying American corn and soybeans to enrich U.S. farmers. Well, we know the farmers have been struggling, right? That's why we don't have fresh meats and vegetables and fruits in our grocery stores because they have to backpedal a lot of the mistakes that they made, but they have to make it seem like it's something so great that they're doing for the people. But really, you're just cleaning up your trash and your mistakes. The immediate contradiction, the lie detector, y'all. So, hours after Vance hailed this as a major milestone for permanent denuclearization, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghier, I don't know if I'm saying that right, explicitly denied Vance's claim to reports in Tehran, stating flat out that Iran made zero new commitments during the talks and did not negotiate away its nuclear program. So you see, y'all, and a lot of y'all that I think is in the chat, y'all here, y'all live with me in the US, y'all know what's going on and what continues to go on here. They gaslight and they lie. They lied to us, they lied to the media, they lied to everyone. And they get on these podiums and they stand up there and they talk a good talk. But when you actually do your research and see the other side of the story, you find out that they lie. So, Imani, do you have any thoughts and feelings on this before we move on a little bit further?
No, it's just to say that, there's no real agreement as yet. They're trying to establish a framework. So it's really in the wording. Nothing has been agreed to as yet by Iran. There's a framework of what they want, but whether or not both sides agree is another story. I think the thing that people find, more comforting is that talks are beginning. However, the trade discussions about using unfrozen assets to purchase US agricultural products, there's something that's been laid down. It's not agreed to. So saying that this is going to benefit US farmers until there's an agreement when you're really only given a framework, no contracts have been signed. There's problems, obviously, on Iran's, well, these are the perceived problems. The Iran stockpile of enriched uranium, and obviously the limits on their future nuclear activities and the ballistic missile programs. And then the money that they have asked for to because of the long-term sanctions that they've been facing. It's just whether or not the diplomats can turn this fragile kind of discussion into a real contract or real agreement. That's what remains. But it's a framework, it's a start. They need the Strait of Hormuz open because of to stabilize global oil prices and shipping insurance costs, and that could ease inflation pressure. There's a lot also to do with Lebanon and Hezbollah and Israel Iran tensions, and trying to de escalate those things is really, really key. The key thing is, they may get a framework and they may get an agreement, but will Israel agree to it? That's an important part of this deal. But they've started talking. That's all I can really say. It's whether or not they can get someone to sign on the dotted line. But I did hear something the other day about Iran asking for 300 billion for the restructuring and rebuilding costs of this war. That was a number I'd heard. It's not been agreed, but that is a number I've heard. So we'll see where it goes and we'll keep you updated.
Right, absolutely. Because, when they tell you to look left, you really should be looking right. And, there is a lot of frustration when it comes to, especially citizens within the country that know and have paid attention to how they try to play us, as if we're not smart. We're basically exhausted. Okay. The government drops billions on foreign conflicts, launches strikes that destabilize global energy, pushes inflation through the roof, and then tells us to celebrate when they sign a temporary 60-day paper waiver that the other side immediately disputes. It's not about denuclearization, it's about managing a crisis. Iran is dealing with runaway domestic inflation, and they need oil money. The US administration needs the Strait of Hormuz open so, the gas prices can go down ahead of election times. It's transactional chess packaged as global peace. And we're tired of sitting here watching the chessboard and the pieces move around when the people are the one who have to suffer from this terrible game that they think deserves to continue to happen. Our lives and our safety and our stability is not a chess game. It is real. And when we elect people into office, we are expecting you to care about the people and the wellness of those people, all of those people, despite whatever tax bracket they may be in. And what we've known to be true when it comes to the United States, this country that we live in, they play games in our face. And for many of us, we weren't paying attention. We weren't listening. We weren't tapping in. We didn't really know what was going on. We would just complain, but we didn't do our research. Well, now we do our research and we know exactly what is going on, and the same type of games that they've been playing all along, they continue to play in our face. But guess what we're not going to do anymore? Fall for it. And so, y'all, I just wanted to play that real quick so y'all can get some of the updates and we can have a little conversation about it. But this is where the frustration lies, right, with the people, because this is the type of stuff that they feed us. This is what they try to tell us and convince us to be true. And now that we do our own research and we know better, we know that they're lying in our faces. They can get up there on a podium with a nice, prim, proper press suit and say things and use big words and make it sound really believable. But we get down to the nitty gritty of it all. Y'all lying. Y'all know better. than any of the rest of these people out here that's running, shucking, and jiving and doing, so we can't say it. I can't say it on the live. But yeah, they're running game on us. Go ahead, Imani.
No, I just are we moving to the Obama speech? Because I wanted to just say a couple of words before we start doing that speech.
Yeah, we was gonna get into that at the end. Before we get into that, I actually wanted to tap into a little bit more of what was happening with the Karmelo Anthony story. The young man that, he did get his final sentencing for the unfortunate encounter he had with another young man that happened to be Caucasian. We reported on that story a few lives back, and there's actually some ties and some, communications and thoughts and feelings when it comes from the Black MAGA sector. So I wanted to play a little bit of that and just kind of lighten up the mood a little bit because that's going
Yeah,
to be reported by Reese
I
Borders,
just want to
and
say a
so
couple of
it'll be a
words,
little bit of
Golden.
comedy.
I
What?
here's I just want to say a couple of words, Golden, before we go
Oh,
forward.
okay, go ahead.
Here's
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm
yeah,
telling you, this
no.
StreamYard
Here's
is
my
delayed. So
housekeeping.
when you
Yeah.
speaking, it sounds like it's delayed, so I can't hear you. So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go
no. We got
ahead.
gremlins. I think we got gremlins crawling in the wires. But here's my housekeeping. Yeah.
Not
I would
gremlins,
just
girl.
like to say, I really need to say this to everybody out there. Golden gets a very, what's the word? She gets a lot of rough press, okay? And the reason why she gets a lot of rough press is because she is very generous and very kind-hearted and is always trying to see the best in people. Yeah. And what I'd really like to say is you will not meet anybody who will go above and beyond more than you will do for yourself than Golden. And make no mistake, anybody out there, this is Golden Queen's channel, okay? Golden Queen has always tried to bring interesting content. And now she may have a, slow talking, school marmish English bitch here, as you all seem to think, who's running the show. No, I'm not running the
Don't say
show.
that. Don't
No, no,
say
no,
that.
no, no. I'm not unhappy about what they think about me. I've told you before. I don't care what they think about me because they're unimportant. And I care more how they treat you, your mother, and people like Ralph and Shah, because these people have always been good people with good intentions. And no matter what spin they try and put on anything and say that people have been planning and coordinating, the truth will always out. Because you see, I don't deal in darkness. I don't do things, I don't throw rocks and hide my hands. I talk straight. Golden has always been trying to produce content. Golden is overprotective, sometimes of people that never ever deserved her protection. Okay. Unfortunately for you guys, she has got someone else that has her back 24/7, 365. And whether you like it or not, or whether you call me a psyop or a spy or an agent or whatever you want to say, I am not going anywhere. So you guys can do all your games, you see, because if you're winning, you don't have to cheat. You can do whatever you want. Do you want to know something? I'm more stubborn than Golden ever has been. And I will not allow any of you to intentionally try and misrepresent her good nature or her mother's good nature, or try and destroy her, or spin narratives. And do you know why? Because I'm quite good at law, because I've been in big corporate legal suits on both sides of the fence. And guess what? I've been a winner every time, because I worked for an international company. So if you think I don't know US civil law, a UK civil law, even Switzerland civil law, you make a very sad mistake. So all I tell you is send whatever documents you want and you will get a response. And don't ever think you can come and try and lie and tell stories and bully and harass people that I care about, regardless of whatever disagreements we may have had in the past, which are not that they're not that actually important compared to the BS that has been thrown at this channel and other channels. So I just wanted to say that she tries her best to make sure people are entertained, that she delivers content that people want to hear, and all people have to do is come and listen, and they can suggest stuff that she might want to do. And, well, she's open to hearing anybody. But the rest of the BS, sorry to tell you, it's not going to happen. Not on my watch. Not ever. Not never. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you for that, Imani. And also, what I would like to say is when it comes to, virtually meeting people, I know sometimes, people are moving very fast and there's so many people to get to know. And they may just run through real quick and not spend a lot of time and fully get to know someone at the core. But when you really do get to know somebody at the core, you can really see what type of person they are. And I know the type of person that I am. I know how I was raised and I know how I desire to show up in this world. And I've met some really great and wonderful people on this platform that I see who they are at the core as well. And Imani is one of them. She has one of the biggest hearts. She's a very sweet person. And like she said, she's like a big sister energy. She's not going to let nobody play games. If it's somebody she rock with and she really love, she will get out there and put the gloves on and protect that person. And those are the type of friends that you want to have in your life. Those are the type of associates that you want to meet and connect with. And she has been doing that from the minute that I met her. And I won't speak on all of that when we first met, but it was very heart touching how she came out to speak to me in the midst of some things happening. And the energy that she gave was not a separation energy. It was a connectivity energy. And it was her wanting to see two people not separate, not fight, not have discord between one another, but still be connected, because she saw the game and she sees things sometimes with the sniper view. And that's why I love her, because sometimes I don't always see things with a sniper view. I just see it straight up the way it is and I go in guns hot. But she sees things sometimes from a distance. And I remember my grandma used to say that, especially when doing like housework and things like that. She said sometimes you have to stand back so you can view something to make sure it's straight, it's level, or it looks right. And sometimes you do have to stand back to do that. And that's what Imani does. And she has been doing that, not just for me, but for others as well. And she'll continue to do so because she has a good heart. So, of course, I value her. I protect her. And I fight in the way that I know how to fight. And she fights in the way that she knows how to fight. But when I meet people like that are genuine, good-hearted people, I will stick by them and I will try to protect them in the best way that I can. And a lot of people will not understand that. They'll be hateful of that. They'll make fun of that. And it's okay, because you may not have those experiences just yet, but it can be possible in your life. You just sometimes have to open your eyes and open your heart and see who really is genuine, who really is a good person. And let's be very clear. In this life, we make mistakes because we're human. Sometimes we'll do things to one another, we'll say things to one another, we'll make bad choices. But it doesn't mean that we have to be thrown in the trash, and it doesn't mean that we don't get another chance. And sometimes we could be on a journey where we're traveling down the wrong path, but it may take for people that come along beside you that really love and care about you to get you to see that you may be possibly on the wrong path. Of course, it's your choice, but it can turn your whole trajectory of your life around. And that's what we should try and be for one another, because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know why they're walking down the path they're walking down. So give people grace, give people love, give people time, and really get to know somebody. Get to know somebody. Spend time with them and see what their true character is before you pass judgments. And yeah, that's all I wanted to add to that with the additional housekeeping. Let's take a quick song break real quick, and we'll be right back. We got to get into this Karmelo Anthony. I think y'all be interested to hear what Black Magus had to say about all of that. And we have a little bit of comic relief from Reese Waters, so shout out to Reese Waters. If y'all have not checked out his channel, please go do so. Subscribe, become a member, and watch some of his content. Really, really dope content creator and artist. Also stand-up comedian. We'll be back after this song break, y'all, and we'll pop right into that video after this. Thank y'all so much for your time. We appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out of your day and your life to come and listen to us and chop it up with us on our live. So thank y'all so much. We will be right back.
Funny thing about hate, the people that say they can't stand you know everything about you. Every live stream, every post, every move. That's not hate, that's obsession. Run it. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every stream, every word I speak. You know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me talking crazy, but you boosting me? You call it hate, I call it free publicity. You in the comments every day promoting me. Why you watching me? You say I'm fake, but you never miss a show. Notifications on front row, screenshot queen. Got folders on your phone, studying my life while neglecting your own. Every week another rumor gets spun. Same five people talking under everyone, claiming that they win it, claiming that they won. But somehow I'm still the topic every month. Ain't that funny? You know my schedule, you know my guests, you know my circle, you know my steps. Know every sentence, know every laugh, know every live stream, from beginning to last. Girl, that's work. She should've sent a resume. Spent 10 years watching me and still ain't get paid. Meanwhile I'm building while you sitting in rage, trying to stop my shine while giving me engagement. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every stream, every word I speak. You know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me talking crazy, but you boosting me? You call it hate, I call it free publicity. You in the comments every day promoting me. Why you watching me? Yeah, YouTube streets got detectives on patrol. Whole channel bitter on another woman's goals. Breaking down thumbnails, breaking down clothes, breaking down friendships, breaking down souls. Talking all day but accomplishing none. Living through drama like it's oxygen. Trying to recruit every bit of little frame, getting fake armies that collapse in the end. See, I learned something. Misery needs company. Happy people don't spend years on a hunting spree. Successful folks ain't checking who I talk to. Successful folks too busy making boss moves. The math ain't mathing. Let's be factual. If I was irrelevant, why you so attached to me? If I was finished, why you still react to me? You built your platform off reacting to me. I don't fear criticism. Criticism helps people grow. But obsession, that's different. Imagine waking up every day to monitor somebody you claim you don't like. That's not power. That's a prison. And you built the cell yourself. Yeah. God got me walking and I know who I am. Can't no comment section cancel God's plan. People throw stones when they don't understand, but every attack on the strength is the stand. I pray for my enemies, wish them healing too, cause carrying that much anger got a cost to you. While you counting my blessings, I'm counting mine. While you studying my life, I'm improving mine. See the difference? One road builds, one road destroys. One creates peace, one just creates noise. And when the camera's off and the live stream ends, you still gotta face yourself, my friend. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every stream, every word I speak, you know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me? Keep talking, keep posting, keep obsessing, keep proving my point. Some people spend their whole lives trying to become somebody. Others spend their whole lives watching somebody become somebody. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Choose wisely.
All right, y'all. So thanks for rocking with us with that quick song break right there. Let's go ahead and just jump straight on into this next video, y'all. So basically, on our next topic that we're going to be talking about, if y'all haven't heard, we did report on, some of this case or whatnot, but the Karmelo Anthony evidence versus the Black MAGA agenda. So basically, the Texas court in Collin County did release the official photos and videos used during the unaliving trial of 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony. This public release comes less than 2 weeks after a jury convicted Anthony of unaliving and sentenced him to 35 years in connection with the tragic unaliving of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Rainey High School track meet in Frisco. So the media manipulation and narrative, right? So Black MAGA factions, specifically media figures like Officer Tatum and Rob Smith, immediately jump on this tragedy. Call out, and we have to speak about the absolute shamelessly with which they are trying to fit this case into their pre-made narratives to indict Black culture as a whole. Now, we did have some different talking points when it came to this case because right is right, wrong is wrong, fair is fair, right? But this is just based off of what I'm about to show y'all here today. So the disproven assumptions, okay, with the newly released video evidence actually has now raised massive serious questions about what exactly happened that day under the team tent. The media's talking heads are completely ignoring the fact that so many of their initial viral assumptions about the case have already been completely disproven by the actual court evidence. This is the exact blueprint of how our criminal justice system and bad faith media figures operate. Karmelo Anthony is the ship that Black MAGA will go down with. They are willing to sacrifice a young Black life and distort the truth just to validate an anti-Black narrative and satisfy their political alignment. So we have to be open and honest about this, y'all. There are multiple things happening at the same time, right? So we do know what is happening with these MAGAs, Black MAGAs, whatever, Caucasian MAGAs, MAGA period, and how they try to spin stories and narratives. But we are also people who think for ourselves, and we understand that if we want the justice system to work for us, we have to allow the justice system to do what it does. However, we know that the justice system is not fair. And we know a lot of us that are Black and brown, the justice system beats down a little bit harder on us than it does other races of people. But a life taken is a life taken, and the consequences for that, there's going to be some, and you have to stand up and accept them. The problem is that we were talking about when we originally covered this topic, and why we do get so upset sometimes as Black and brown people is because the same exact thing can happen, and it could be possibly a Caucasian person that's guilty, or maybe a race that is not Black or brown, and sometimes they get a slap on the wrist or a lesser sentence. So there was a lot of people that were outraged when it comes to that, the unfairness of the judicial system in entirety. However, there are us that do understand that is a thing, but we also understand that the judicial system, in order for it to work and operate, it has to do what it does. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, we would want justice as well. However, the sentencing for some people seems a little bit brash. If you are not including all of the evidence in the case and just overlooking some things, then that's not fair. And so there's a lot of talks. There's a lot of talks around this case, and we understand all of them. We actually do. And so that's one of the big takeaways that I wanted to say before we go ahead and get into this video, y'all, because we're always fair over here. That's it, you know? But yeah, there's a lot of nuances. And so let's just listen to a little bit of this. And again, like I said, shout out to Reese Waters. If y'all have not checked out his platform and his channel yet, please do so, because he has excellent content over there. But yeah, this is a little bit of the Black MAGAs, right? And with the Karmelo Anthony case. And basically, yeah, they all twisted up and confused about this one. They really don't know what to say or what to do. So let's listen to a little bit of it. We'll take a small break for commentary in just a moment.
Pushes him out of the tent, or grabs his bag, or pushes him out of the tent. He turns and stabs him in the heart. According to the witness, Metcalf pushes him out of the tent, or grabs his bag, or pushes him out of the tent. He turns and stabs him in the heart. By the law, it will be almost impossible for him to use self-defense because
he Black. Cause he Black. Because if you would have said that, this would be a whole different video. But go ahead with your excuse. Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. I'm Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
And I can attest to that as a Christian who went to Israel. I spent 2 weeks there with the church, and we had an incredible time. We had only one incident where a small child spit on one of the pastors.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Now, when we last left the Karmelo Anthony case, Rob Smith was apologizing for having a huge vat of cocoa butter on his desk. Huh? Oh, black. He was apologizing for being Black. He's apologizing for Black people. That's what I meant.
On behalf of the Black community, I would like to apologize to the parents of Austin Metcalf. I apologize that there are so few fathers around and so few male figures around to teach the Black community about emotional discipline, about what's right from wrong, about emotional regulation, about not making a hero out of a thug and a criminal.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, if having this vat of cocoa butter on my desk is wrong, I don't want to be right. It has saved my life. Now, when we last left Officer Tatum, he had just finished caping for that Karen in Ohio.
This stuff can be destructive, especially when someone is doing things to gain financial recognition. And you guys are just a regular family, working hard, entrepreneur, American dream, got the house and the kids, just trying to make a living like any other American. And then you got a guy who's an opportunistic person who took this situation and blew it up past its proportion, in my opinion. So, you know, I just wanted to get y'all's story out and let people know that you guys are humans and you're good people. And I've heard people have reached out to me and I haven't heard anything negative about you guys.
Stop the cap. And naturally, considering Officer Tatum couldn't get enough of defending that particular woman, certainly he would be on top of this, right?
What do you mean by that?
If it's somebody you're looking for to cape for white America, Officer Tatum is on the job.
Karmelo Anthony was sitting under a tent that did not belong to him, that was a part of another school's tent. Allegedly, the kids came over and said, hey, man, you're sitting under the tent. You need to leave. Immediately, according to this document, Karmelo Anthony goes in his backpack and says, touch me and see what happens. And according to this witness, they didn't think that Karmelo had a weapon in his bag. And so one of the kids, I think it was Metcalf, touched him. And he said, now punch me and see what happens. Now, I don't know if people are hurling threats at him or what is happening, but he said, punch me and see what happens. According to the witness, Metcalf pushes him out of the tent, grabs his bag or pushes him out of the tent. He turns and stabs him in the heart. By the law, it will be almost impossible for him to use self-defense because
he black. Because he black. Because if you would have said that, this would be a whole different video. But go ahead with your excuse.
When you're in a tent that you don't belong in, that's all, you're already charting up the wrong territory. And then you brought a knife to a track meet that's already against the law to do in the first place.
Ooh, okay. Let me ask you, because I literally just was referring to the Karen video. I don't watch a ton of your content, but I had to watch something in that particular case. Was she already in territory that she didn't belong in by being in his front yard? Huh? She was literally at his home, and you defended her presence at his home as he tried to come home from work. She had a right to be at his home. And now all of a sudden he's automatically in the wrong for being in the wrong tent. Is that what you're selling?
Then the development of premeditation, which I think can be argued away. But right now, the development of premeditation is a problem too, because when he puts his hand in his bag and he said, touch me and see what happens. All you need is a split second of planning to create premeditation.
Gotcha. So he didn't necessarily premeditate them coming over or even the provoking that you are seating right now, or them touching him. He didn't need to premeditate that, or even the last inciting event. Just the fact that he told them, if you do this, this will be the consequence. That is the premeditation. Is that what you're saying? Because I already know if the roles were reversed, it would be he warned you. It would be he warned you, and you know it. And you know it. And you know it. No. And you know it. If the roles were reversed, it would be he warned you. That's what you would be sitting up here talking about. Now all of a sudden.
All right, so I'm going to pause it right there for a quick commentary break. And so one of the things that I want to say that I think makes this case so difficult and keeps it on the fence, right? And we have talking points on the left and talking points on the right, is because of the lack of fairness when it comes to the judicial system and the handling of Black and brown people for justice, right? A lot of times if you do something, you commit a crime, you do something as a Black or brown person, it's no issue, right? It's really quick to the point. You're guilty, you're getting arrested, you're going to jail, you're doing the time, you're done. And we know that that is the experience that many of us even probably could attest to. Not necessarily me, but I'm just saying if there's anybody out there, respectfully. What we see that there is a lack of is that same energy for other races of people. And I can't speak in other countries because I don't know how it works there, but I can speak in the United States, in the states that I have been in when it comes to the judicial systems there. There is a lack of that same level of energy for the same offenses, if not worse sometimes. And I think this is what has the people in such, like an uproar and upset, is because it's not that we want to take away from the fact that there was a wrong that has happened here. There was a crime that was committed and that you have to have consequences for that. The problem, I think, more so is that if that is the case, then why is it so many other people that are not Black and brown people can do the same things or worse and get like a slap on the wrist and get off free or get out of jail free card? That is what Black and brown people are frustrated about, that we do not have this fairness across the board when it comes to the judicial system. And so I don't think for 1 minute nobody's going to sit there and say, oh, okay, this little young man did this and that's the right thing for him to do. And, we support this, we second this, we back this. I don't think so. I think it's just more so about the fact that, dang, like, y'all really did him like that? But what about so-and-so that just, and I can find cases for y'all if we want to be factual. I will find the cases for y'all. I will find the names. I will find all of those things so I can tell y'all and show y'all for real. There is a lot of cases and experiences that happen the same way, if not worse, and those people get away with it. They get away with it. They don't have to have as heavy as sentencing. They don't have to have as much as, this painting of their narrative and their character on the media. They almost sweep it under the rug. Like, it's like, yeah, okay, they did it. That's fine. And next. They made this a big case all over the media that this young man did something like this, but he's not the first young man to do it. The thing is, he's a Black young man. And so I don't know how y'all think or feel about that. If you experienced that, if you feel that to be true, y'all let me know. Imani, do you have any thoughts and feelings on this before we play some more of the video?
I've forgotten the guy's name. The one that shot the what was it? The anti-racism protesters, and he unalived one. Was it Kyle? What was his last name?
I'll look it up. I'll find it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was him. Wasn't he? Didn't they take him? Allegedly, didn't they take him for something like a McDonald's or a Burger King before they took him to the station? There was something like that when he got arrested.
You talking about
guy,
that young man that had a memorandum and wrote what he was going to do, etched it in some things that were racially, discriminatory on his weapon, and went into that grocery store and powed up all of those people.
It's the guy that shot the anti-fascism protesters. There were two. It was wasn't it a husband? I think the guy he shot a white guy, but he was at anti-racism or anti-fascism. His name is Kyle something. I believe he now works for the government. Don't quote me.
Talking about. I got it. Don't worry. I know who you're talking about. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe, and allegedly, because you can find this out, I think he's got a government job or something in the federal government. But that guy didn't. I don't know whether he got pardoned. I can't remember the details of the case, but his name is Kyle. But there's a classic example, and somebody did die. He did unalive someone. And he shot into. He actually powwowed into a crowd or something of protesters, and I think wasn't it the husband of a woman who was at the protest march, who was unalived. Is it Rittenhouse? Carl Rittenhouse.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. I believe that's his last name. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's get into a little bit of this, y'all. Again, 17 years old. This happened in August of 2020. Kyle Rittenhouse traveled across state lines to Kenosha, Wisconsin, during racial justice protests, armed with an AR-15 style rifle. He got into a series of chaotic altercations, fatally pow-powing 2 men and wounding a third. Now, his verdict happened on November 2021. A jury completely acquitted him of all charges, including first-degree intentional unaliving or homicide. After his defense successfully argued he acted in self-defense because he was being pursued and felt his life was threatened. Now, the double standard critiques, and this is what we're talking about. Excuse me, y'all. Critics of the justice system use this case to show the clear racial disparity. They point out that Rittenhouse, who was a Caucasian teenager who actively brought a military-style rifle to a volatile protest, was granted the full grace of the law of self-defense and fear of his life arguments, resulting in total freedom. Meanwhile, Karmelo Anthony, a black teenager who reacted in a split-second physical scuffle under a chaotic tent, had his fear completely dismissed by a jury and was handed 35 years of a sentence. So you see, guys, we're not making these things up, and we can keep going on and on and on. I have many more here that I can read for you.
What is he doing now, Golden? I thought I saw he was given a job.
Oh, let's see. What is Kyle Rittenhouse doing now? Let's find out. Because your life gets to go on, right? You know? So let's take a look. But you see what I'm saying, y'all? This is the disparities that we're talking about. And this is why I think cases like this, you know, it just gives so much animosity to people, because it's like we don't have no problem with understanding that if you commit a crime, then you do your time, and you know you have a consequence for that. But when we see that the exact same things, if not worse, happen sometimes to black and brown people and then other races of people, and they're handled differently, that's what we have a problem with. Okay. So basically right now, Rittenhouse has been working directly with Texas Gun Rights, an aggressive firearms advocacy group. He is actively campaigning against red flag laws.
Sorry, I'm sorry I laughed.
Wait a minute. Well, no, laugh hard, because this is what we're talking about. Working directly with Texas Gun Rights and aggressive firearms advocacy groups. He has actively campaigned against red flag laws and restrictions on semi-automatic weapons. And he officially announced his move back to Texas to deepen his involvement in the state's conservative political infrastructure. He regularly travels the country, booking speaking engagements at universities and conservative rallies, often sponsored by organizations like Turning Point USA. These events routinely spark intense student protests, shouting matches, and massive walkouts due to his highly controversial status.
I'm saying nothing. I'm
Girl,
saying nothing. I
cannot.
can't say anything.
Let's just keep playing the video at this point. But if anybody want to sit up here and say that we have not proved our point, we have proved our point. Okay. So when we come and we talk to y'all and we speak to y'all and we say, look, let's be fair. Fair is fair, right is right, wrong is wrong. But when it comes to black and brown people and sometimes other races of people, there is not a level of fairness. And I can only speak on the United States, y'all. Remember that, because that's where I live. It's not fair. Like, this man is up here doing speeches now. This young boy is up here doing speeches now, doing events. He's working for organizations and corporations. He's not serving his life behind bars. But the 17-year-old, Karmelo Anthony, he's going to be serving 35 years behind bars in a penitentiary somewhere. He didn't get those opportunities. And they didn't even want to take all of the evidence into consideration. They automatically said that he was guilty, lock him up, throw him away, we're done. And that is what typically happens.
I just wanted to correct what I said. I thought there is somebody who was in a very high profile case who has a government job, and it's not Kyle Rittenhouse. I thought it was him, but there's someone who was in another high profile case. I can't remember who he is, but I do know that they got a federal job. So I just wanted to correct that mistake I made about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Okay, no problem, girl. It be happening. I'll find the deets. I'll find that one as well. But while I'm doing that, let's go ahead and play some more of the video, and then we'll stop for another commentary break in just a minute. I know we're at the 2-hour mark, y'all, so we're gonna try to get through this as quickly as we can. We don't want to take up too much of y'all time, but let's keep going.
Sudden, a split second of premeditation. Well, if that's the case, then every crime would be premeditated. Now, wouldn't it? You certainly thought about it a split second before you did it, didn't you? I done spent all this time watching 12, 13, 15 seasons of Snapped, where they argue heat of the moment when they have a long drive over to the crime. Now it's premeditated with a split second. Who knew? I guess we knew, because I don't see a whole lot of black women on Snapped. I didn't say black women don't snap. I said I don't see them on Snapped, because they in jail.
Now, if the scuffle happened and he reached in his bag and stabbed somebody, that would be without premeditation, even if he attempted to kill a guy. But when you begin to plan and plot and say, when they touch me, although I'm encouraging them to touch me, you could say that I'm not encouraging them to touch me while saying it, don't touch me, or while telling them to touch me. Someone could argue that, but you're already plotting and planning that when somebody does this, I'm going to use this knife to kill them.
Now, here's a question. By that breakdown you just gave me, if the scuffle happens, in order for there not to be premeditation, I would have to just be fumbling through my bag, looking for maybe a book to use as defense, or maybe a stuffy that's in there by accident. And one of my kids put that in there because they wanted me to have a nice day, that I could use to block the blows, and find a knife and just use that. Because if I go to the bag knowing there's a knife in the bag in the midst of the scuffle, that still would be premeditation, according to you. What that would also mean is, forget the knife scenario, all of these 2A situations, which we have seen painted over, all of these cases would also be premeditation, because you knew you had that on you, right? Huh? Right?
And what happens? The kid touched him. He did nothing, but then the kid pushed him and then he stabbed him in the chest. Now, self-defense has to be an articulable, equal use of force. So if a person is saying, I feel like my life is in danger of serious bodily injury or death, you can use deadly force. But if someone is pushing you after asking you to leave a place and you use deadly force against them, that's not co-equal force. And self-defense does not allow you to use any accelerated force that you want because you feel like it. Let me give you an example.
Now, that right there is a fair point. That is a fair point. I will cede that to you, Officer Tatum. However, I remember a great number of cases where people argued that they were in fear for their lives or serious bodily harm, when that was a completely unreasonable conclusion to come to. And we have seen that work. Depending on whether certain people are involved. Some are scarier than others. That you know.
Oh man, hey.
Let's be honest. Today's economy is as uncertain as it gets. That's why I'm happy to bring today's sponsor, American Financing, on credit cards. It's an pressure. And if you start today,
pushes me, I can't just pull a gun out and shoot them in the chest. That's unequal force. I cannot argue unequivocally to a jury that I felt like my life was in danger. I felt like I would receive serious bodily injury or death. And then I also had opportunities to remove myself from the situation, which means that when I went in my bag and I said, touch me, I could have just moved away from the situation.
Now, here is an interesting, and this might be a legal discussion. I would love to have an attorney to discuss this because I don't know that there are very many self-defense scenarios where the person does not have the ability to leave the situation. I don't know that that's a suitable bar. I think quite a number of people could have left the situation that seemed to be cut and dry self-defense cases. So I can't exactly go with you on that one.
Instead, I escalated the situation.
Then you say, I escalated the situation. Now, here's the problem with that. I don't think that anybody has ever been in court arguing self-defense where they didn't escalate the situation. I think by nature of the case, in any case like this, you escalated the situation. Give me the most one-sided incident of assault and you're in fear for your life. Once you go to deadly force, you escalated the situation. How is that? He was an officer. It makes sense. It makes sense. Quite frankly, I think you escalated the situation, Officer Tatum. What's this, your 12th video on this case?
I wasn't in an attempt to de-escalate. So this is where, even after the case report, Karmelo Anthony is still going to have an uphill battle because he used disproportionate force. He wasn't supposed to have the knife on campus in the first place. And he was actually in the wrong by occupying space in a tent that didn't belong to him.
Okay, now the knife wasn't on campus. And I would think by your 34th video on this topic, you would have seeded that. But then again, you are the same guy who says this was a bad kid. Oh, well, maybe he's not a bad kid. Having done literally no research on Karmelo Anthony whatsoever. I don't know. Are you waiting for video 70 to do a little bit of that digging? You got to get on top of it, man. I mean, really, because the rest of the Black MAGAs already have shifted. Look at Rob Smith. He was deep into the Black culture bag. And then when he found out that he came from a two-parent home and they were doing fine, immediately shifted to the it's something having to do with Black people and wealth, and they still can't get along. And he turned that electric slide into a cha-cha slide seamlessly. Get it together, Officer Tatum.
Now let's get to this Next Generation Action Network. I listened to the entire thing on double speed. So I had to, it's 30 minutes. I listened to it so you don't have to listen to it. In minute 27 is when the whole thing falls apart. I am all for people getting fair representation. I am all for a group that wants to support Black children or Black people who are and ensure that they're getting a fair trial. I have no problem whatsoever. That's what America is all about. If you want to advocate for your people, advocate for your people. But then homeboy threw the whole thing out of the window and proved to me that he was biased beyond reason. When in this clip, I'm going to play for you, he says, or compares this situation to Zimmerman from Trayvon Martin and Kyle Rittenhouse.
If someone wants to say race is not in this situation and shouldn't be, well, I asked all of those people to join me in calling it out. But don't look at Black people and say, don't always play the race card. We don't play the race card, we live it. We live a reality. And I believe that in America, I always tell this, and I'm just going to speak truth to power in this situation. It is crazy that America tells us to accept the self-defense claim of George Zimmerman, Kyle Rittenhouse, and so many other people. But when the shoe is on the other foot, that claim is absurd. And I just got to call a spade, no matter what my personal views of a case may be. It is quite contradicting for America to come back and say, oh, Kyle Rittenhouse can have it, George Zimmerman can have it. All of these individuals that don't look like the color of my skin can't have it. In the state of Texas, we live in a state where yet you can walk around with a permitless carry. You can walk around with a brass knuckles. You can walk around with a knife. You can walk around with all these things. AK-47 in the state of Texas. And then as soon as you see a black person exercise those rights, we now have a problem. And that's not me spitting hate or race or bigotry. That's the facts. And like I put a statement, what we're not going to do after 400 years of oppression of black people in America is yet justify ourselves every time a situation comes up with one of our children. We want them to have those same rights.
Do you understand what happened in Zimmerman's case? Zimmerman was actively getting the beat out of him, screaming and crying for help.
Actually, no. First, he was at home on the phone before they told him don't go out there. That was, yeah. First, he was at home. Didn't you just tell me that he was in the tent that he wasn't supposed to? Didn't you open with he was in the tent where he wasn't supposed to be? And remember when I reminded you about the fact that you gave Karen in Ohio the right to be in somebody else's yard and tell him that he couldn't come home? Remember that? Yeah. So first he was at home and he put himself in that situation. If you ask me, he was underneath those knuckles. He had no business. You know what I mean?
All right, y'all. So we're just gonna go ahead and take a quick little commentary break right here. And then we are going to wrap up this video and get into, I don't know, Imani, you let me know. Should we get into a little bit of the Barack Obama speech after this? I think it's a lovely way to end it off. But I did want to go ahead and touch a little bit on the George Zimmerman case in case nobody remembers or happens to know. And, you know, just really pull out some of the similarities, maybe just kind of opposite. And yeah, yet another case where, you know, this is why we have the outrage that we have when it comes to the judicial system and how they choose to, you know, pick and choose who gets freedom and who doesn't. Did you have any thoughts, feelings, or opinions you want to give before I read a little bit of this about George Zimmerman?
Oh, that's the one. No, I was just going to say my interest really is on which was what we talked about bringing. We talked about looking at justice systems globally, and one of my favorite. I tell you guys, one of my favorite, not favorite for wow, I reveled in it. But one of the most interesting programs I used to watch was I don't know if anybody's seen Banged Up Abroad. Have any of you seen that program?
I've heard of this show. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I know what show you're talking about. I got to take a look at it.
It's really interesting thing when people go to different countries and get swept up in their justice system. And, there were people, for example, who went to Thailand and tried to carry out UGs or carry in UGs, etc., and got arrested. And the severity of the punishment, because I don't know if anybody knows, but in a few of the Far Eastern countries, the penalty for smuggling used to be they unalived you. Basically, it was the death penalty. So it used to be really, it was an interesting program that the stuff that people did without thinking about what the consequences could be if they got caught. And I've seen people who've been locked up all around the world in some of the most horrific places, such as Thailand, because of the system, the way the prison system works. So some of us think, oh my God, the UK system, the US system's terrible. But when I saw that there were people that were held in cells of 50 people that really were only room enough for, say, 3 or 4 people, it makes you really think about, the consequences, of actions. And some really young people that get swept up and end up in a Thailand prison for 15 years without, running water, without sanitation. So that's why I used to watch that program. And that put me off doing anything anywhere in the world that I wasn't, 100% sure of. But, some people just went on a holiday and then they ran out of money and got persuaded to do the most, you know, strangest things, the chances that they took. But I used to be really interested in that. And it gave an insight to being incarcerated around the world. That's what it was. It used to be a program that I regularly watched. I think it's somewhere you can go and actually have a look because there are some famous cases um, on there. But yeah, but that. Oh, sorry. I think we may have to. Sorry, are we going to have to end? Golden? Hello?
All right, y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry. I was having some mic issues. But yeah, absolutely, absolutely true. And I did just want to leave off with this topic with a little more additional information because we did hear these two names get brought up. We heard Kyle Rittenhouse and we also heard George Zimmerman. So when it comes to George Zimmerman, okay, remember this was 2012. Zimmerman tracked down, profiled, and unalived a unarmed 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Y'all remember Trayvon Martin, right? He was completely acquitted by a jury that accepted his self-defense claim. How are you defending yourself if you're tracking someone down? That's our question. That's probably most of the community's question and the family's question. This was the exact historical moment that conservative media playbook was born. Smear the black child's character, focus on what he wore, and put black youth culture on trial to make the vigilante a hero. Kyle's Rittenhouse contrast when it comes to all this. Y'all understand. One more time. Kyle Rittenhouse was 17 years old. Actively brought a AR-15 rifle to a chaotic protest. He unalived 2 people, 2, and was completely acquitted of all criminal charges under self-defense and fear for his life. Today, Rittenhouse has leveraged that blood into a highly paid conservative political career, touring colleges and working with firearm groups right there in Texas. Now, let's talk about Texas. Why is Texas the epicenter? Texas has built a legal fortress around stand your ground statutes, right? Texas Penal Code 931 and 932, stating an individual has no duty to retreat in a public space, but this fortress does have a color code. If you are Danielle Perry, a Caucasian soldier who drove into a Black Lives Matter crowd and shot an unarmed protester, Texas Governor Greg Abbott will literally hand deliver you a full executive pardon to override a jury's unaliving conviction, because stand your ground is sacred. But here's the trap when it comes to Black youth. The minute a Black child named Karmelo Anthony reacts out of pure panic and fear in a rainy track meet scuffle, the Texas fortress slams its gates shut. The system hyperanalyzes his actions, claims entering a rival's team tent is provocation, strips away his stand your ground defense, and hands him 35 years while media vultures cheer on it. So, what do y'all think about this? Do you think we're complaining? Do you think we're being a pain in the ass? Do you think we're always just, woe is me? What is it that you clearly want to say when it comes to us discussing and reporting on these things when it comes to the racial differences? We're not saying that fair is fair and right is right and wrong is wrong. It's not something that we stand by and we believe. We do. But why does it not seem to apply to Black and brown people? And when I say that, it's not just Black. We're talking about Hispanic people. We're talking about sometimes mixed race people. If you just don't fit the script, if you don't look the part, you possibly could be one of the ones that unfortunately may have one of these unfortunate circumstances happen to you, and the judicial system may just throw down the whole book and the gavel on top of your head while you sit by and watch your counterparts that have done exactly the same, if not worse, go free and have opportunities in their life while you sit behind a dusty, dirty jail cell. And this has been happening for a very long period of time. And what we're saying is we're tired of seeing it and we're tired of it happening. So when we bring these type of stories to the forefront, we talk about them and we break them down the way that we do. It's for a learning moment for all of us, a teaching moment for all of us, hell, even a proof moment for all of us. That we're not just sitting out here screaming to the top of our lungs and being a pain in the ass, talking about racial injustices, not just in this country, but in this world. They exist, they are here, and they have happened viciously a lot, historically in the past, and continue to do so here in the present. And we just don't want them to happen no more in the future. And that's what we're trying to fight against. That's what we're trying to bring a light or shed a light on. We want change. It's not right. It's not deserving. And we're not crazy when we talk about it. And we will not be silenced when we decide to open up our mouths and speak on it. So the proof is in the pudding. That's what my grandma used to always say. And I don't know what pudding she was talking about, but she did make some good bread pudding and banana pudding and all the other type of puddings she'd throw down in the kitchen. But no one's lying or gaslighting you. Just look at the facts. Look at the news. The real news, the right news, the truthful news. These things aren't lies. And so, in the unfortunate case of Karmelo Anthony, 17-year-old Black boy that was at a track meet and decided to take cover in another camp because it was raining outside, supposedly, allegedly, and happened to have a knife on him. He got into an altercation in a scuffle with two Caucasian males, twin brothers at that. And I don't know what went down, and none of us know what went down because we were not in the tent. But he unfortunately felt as though he had to wield that weapon. And I don't know if he felt as though he had to protect his life or if he just wanted to do something ill that day. We can't be sure. But if somebody takes a military-grade weapon into a church, a grocery store, a school, do they feel as though they need to protect their life against anything? Or do they just feel like they just want to be nasty work that day and take their anger out on innocent bystanders that have done nothing to them? And they get a slap on the wrist and they get to walk away free. Can we make it make sense? I don't know. Y'all let me know if we can make it make sense. We're not saying the judicial system is not necessary, and we're not saying that wrong is not wrong, but we're saying what's fair is fair. And this is what I think the outrage comes from when it comes to this case. It's not the fact that the young man did something wrong and he has to pay a price. It's the fact that it's a heavy sentence. Yeah, it is. Considering that people who do worse get no sentencing. They happen to be a different race. Is that an issue? Yeah. Is that what we've been speaking about? Yeah. Is that what we want to change? Yeah. So are we crazy for talking about these things and bring these things to the forefront and putting a microscope on them? I don't think so. They actually really happen. And I do respect the fact that different things happen in different countries in different areas. A lot of these things that have happened that we're reporting on, we're talking about, yes, they have happened in the United States, in states around me, in the country that I live in. And people who live in other countries may not necessarily know. They don't know what it's like when you get into an encounter with the police. They don't know what it's like when you just walking down the street and you fit the criteria or the image of the assailant or the criminal that they're after. And how that could just possibly be the end for you. Just because you look the part. Does this happen in other countries? I'm sure it does. In different ways. I can only speak on what I know, what I live, what I see, what my family sees, what my friends see, what they experience. I can only speak on that. And so, y'all, we will cut this video, unfortunately, short. It's a really great video all the way up to the end, because there's a lot more people that speak out and have some commentary about this. We just kind of running over in time. And so I will encourage y'all to go over to Reese Waters' channel and finish watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, become a member if you like, and watch some of his other content. Really, really great channel. I'm telling you, for you won't be disappointed. But yeah, when it comes to that case, we just add a little bit more context into the conversation, right? Because we did talk about it. We talked about it on a previous time. And when I seen the conversation that they was having over here, I didn't know the Black Maggots had so much to say against it. Interesting. So as you can see, sometimes it's not just other races. Sometimes it's our own. It's our own that have things to say and agree with this injustice that we do have and we experience in life and different areas. In my country and other countries and states and islands and all over, right? It's unfortunate. It really, really is. But it's what we got. Before we end, I do want to share a little bit of this. Just a little bit, y'all. Not a lot of it. If y'all want to rock with me some more, I just want to share a little bit of this because this was really a powerful speech. And I wanted to be sure that I got to that because we were supposed to play it on the last live, but we also ran out of time there as well. I want us to listen together to a little bit of Barack Obama's speech. I think it ties in the net to all of this and what we're talking about when we say we just want this world and us as a people to be better. And somebody has to do it. And you can do it the best way you can. You may not can do everything, especially, presidents, damn sure a content creator. Imagine how hard that is to make the world a better place. We can't even make YouTube a better place, let alone the world. But even for presidents, especially if they're good ones, and they actually care and they want to make the world a better place, there's only so much you can do. There's only so much rope that you get. But this is one that tried hard, amongst many others, falling. Rest in peace. And we see it, and we feel it as a people. when it's someone in position and power that is trying their hardest to do that, fighting tooth and nail to do that. We recognize it. So much different than the one we have right now. And I think most of us can attest to that. It's here in the US. We can attest. Totally different. But yeah, I want to play a little bit of this for y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this, and I will meet y'all in the chat.
Hello, Chicago. Sweet home, Chicago. Please have a seat. Thank you, Punihi, for that outstanding introduction. President and Mrs. Bush, President Secretary Clinton, thank you for being with us today and for your devotion to our country. And President and Dr. Biden, thank you for your steadfast partnership for 8 years. Joe, we started as running mates and ended as family. And we would not be here without you. And we are grateful. To our amazing foundation staff and our amazing board, to Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, thank you for making this center possible. To congressional leaders and foreign dignitaries who've made the trip, I cherish our partnership together and all we got accomplished together. Thank you. To Michelle, she did me wrong. She wouldn't let me see her speech. She knew she was gonna mess me up, and she did it anyway. But she's always made me better. And I could not be more grateful. And to Sasha and Malia, what can I say? You mean everything to me. More than 40 years ago, on a late summer afternoon in 1985, I arrived here in Chicago, entering the city through the very spot where this center now stands. I can still picture myself heading down what was then Cornell Drive in a janky used car that I'd bought in New York, with all my worldly possessions stuffed in the trunk and the back seat, so I really couldn't see out of the rear view mirror, and I was a safety hazard. And I was 23 years old. I'd just been hired by a group of churches on the South Side to help organize a part of the city that had been battered by steel plant closings and chronic neglect. And I didn't have much organizing experience. Didn't know anybody in Chicago. But I had been inspired by the civil rights movement. And I knew I wanted to make a difference. And although I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to do that, I was possessed with this abiding faith that if we could give people more of a say in the forces that govern their lives, if we could bridge some of the differences that drove us apart, then we could build an America where everyone counts and everyone has a fair shot and everyone belongs. even a mixed race kid with a weird backstory and a name nobody could pronounce. And it was here, in this city, a city of broad shoulders, that I found what I was looking for. Day by day, block by block, I got to know the people who lived here, their hopes, their dreams, their tragedies and their triumphs. I witnessed their resilience in the face of hardship and the quiet heroism of a single mom raising her kids and sending them to college on a secretary's salary, or the priest electing to stay in the city and open his doors to at-risk youth, even as most of his flock had fled to the suburbs. I learned that leadership has less to do with titles or rank or chasing attention than with helping others find their voice, reaching their potential, and sitting around people's kitchen tables or on their back porches, spending time in church basements, in barbershops. I was reminded that everyone has a story to tell if you just care to listen. Sacred stories, full of courage and humor and grace. And that each of those stories in some way connected to my own. In other words, I found my purpose here, and I fortified my faith here, and I found my community here, friendships that would last a lifetime. And I found a girl from the South Side who has been my greatest blessing. Michelle and I, our wedding reception was over at South Shore Cultural Center. You could walk from here. Our daughters were born right down the street. This is where we bought our first home. This is where our kids took their first steps. This is where I launched my candidacy for the Illinois State Senate over at the Ramada Inn on Lakeshore Drive, serving pretzels and soda, embarking on the path that ultimately and improbably led to this day. So, for me, this center could not be any place else. It's an expression of thanks, an acknowledgement that so much of what I hold most dear, I owe to the people of this city and the people of these surrounding neighborhoods. And it's why we designed the center not to be some lifeless mausoleum. I am too young for that. Not just a place to see Michelle's dresses, although I understand that will be the top attraction. We wanted it to be a vibrant, living celebration of community, where we can learn together and share the joys of art and music and sport and play. Because it's in those moments that we're reminded of our common humanity.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and stop it right there, take a quick little commentary break, and then we'll do a little wrap up. We'll come back and we can either play the rest for y'all on the next live, or if you want, y'all can check it out yourself. I will put the link in the description box. We can do 2 parts though, or 3 parts, whatever. That's fine. I typically like to do that anyway. and we'll come back because we like to watch it together and share it with y'all and make commentary. But before I get into my commentary, Imani, I'll let you go first. What are some of your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on when you've seen not just Michelle's speech, but Barack's part of his speech as well?
Well, as per usual, he's the ultimate professional. He begins with the gratitude and the personal reflection. Says thanks to everybody who's helped him to get where he is, talking about, the other presidents, leaders, political leaders, his staff, his donors, and especially his family. And obviously, it's an emotional tribute to Michelle, Sasha, and Malia. And he also has a lot of reflection on, arriving in Chicago and how it transformed him from a young community organizer into a leader, because that's where he got his start. That's where he rolled his sleeves up and got into community work. And he starts talking about, leadership coming from is about service to people, about listening to the people, the communities, and about building trust rather than seeking power and recognition. And like I said, he's always great to listen to. No matter if you agree with his policies or not, it's the ultimate professional. The South Side of Chicago shaped his identity and his leadership philosophy and his purpose. I think people should either, we will continue with this, or we'll either, or people can go and watch the speech, but we will continue to give a breakdown, probably a more fuller breakdown the next time we come back, because you might need to step back, because I had mine cutting out, and I don't know where we kind of ended. So, because I'm having a few techie problems at the moment. But apart from that, thank you everybody for joining us. We will be back with content tomorrow. And whatever turns up in housekeeping tomorrow. But let's just have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you for your support. Thank you for always joining us. And we hope God willing, to see you guys tomorrow. And that's only what I say religiously, but I definitely hope to see you guys all back here tomorrow. And that's it from me.
Okay, girl. Thank you so much for joining me as always and kicking and
Did you
rocking
hear
with
me?
me as my co-host. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I don't know. You might can't hear me. This is what I'm saying with these tech issues, child. We have to battle through these things every live, and it's so annoying. But anyway, I'm gonna get with my girl. I'm gonna talk to her in just a minute, y'all. She's out. I just have a few final thoughts. We're going to end it with a bop per usual. And yes, we will be back tomorrow. And God willing, we always say that just on a, religious and spiritual level, because we never know, right? We never know what could happen. And we're blessed every day we get to wake up. But this is just my closing statement. So y'all, I want us to look at the macro picture of everything we tackled today. From political shifts in the UK to the geopolitical chess with Iran to the courtroom battles over there in Texas. None of this is happening in a vacuum. Every single headline shows a system constantly shifting the goalposts, depending on who you are and sometimes maybe what you look like. When we expose the media vultures using tragedies like Karmelo Anthony's case to indict our entire culture, we are talking about the exact reality of our children and what they walk into every single day. This is why politics with purpose exists. We refuse to let YouTube streets or corporate networks dictate our narrative. We don't do this for the gossip or the tea. We do this to provide a sanctuary of truth, accountability, and royalty. And for a real world blueprint of what that looks like, look at what the Obamas did with their presidential center for Juneteenth weekend. They didn't build a private monument in Washington or hide their legacy away. They took a massive global project and poured it straight back into the concrete of the South Side of Chicago, putting a public library, a local recording studio, an athletic facility, and community gardens right where their story all started. This is intentional power. They understood the ultimate defense against a broken system is investing directly in the people on the ground. True legacy isn't an award you keep for yourself. It's an anchor of resources you drop down to lift your community up. This is the exact same spirit that we try to bring to this channel every single day. We are here to equip you with the knowledge to see right through the spin, so you stop being a victim of narratives and become an architect of change. The powers that be want us divided and silent, but hope is an active daily discipline. The arc of the universe doesn't bend on its own. It bends because ordinary people like you and me, y'all, put their hands on it and push. So don't let the noise drain your spirit. Anchor your homes, protect your families by any means necessary, and keep demanding excellence. We are building a community right here that leads with integrity and chooses unity every single day. Y'all, we see you, we love you, we appreciate you for building this royalty with us. And we ask you to stay sharp, stay informed, and always lead with purpose. So peace, love, and absolute unity vibes to the chat, y'all. Golden and Imani out. And y'all know, per usual, we're going to end it with a bop. We got some administrative duties to do. We're about to go ahead and get into it. But let's go ahead and end this with a song, y'all. Thank y'all so much for all of your participation. Whether you was in here earlier or you stayed the entire time, we appreciate it. Whether you was in the chat or you was just kicking back and watching from, the cut, we appreciate you too, and we can feel your presence. Thank you so much. That's all we got on this one, y'all. We're going to go ahead and play this song, and we out. Bye.
When they got people forgetting the folks of you. That part. Every laugh ain't harmless. Every post ain't just jokes. Some people smiling online, crying in real life. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Why? You don't know what they carry when the camera done. Broken souls throw stones, then hide they hands. Cowards in comment sections playing God again. Karma don't miss. And healing's still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Yeah. YouTube streets messy, everybody got a target. Creators throwing dirt like hate became a market. Mocking people daily, that spirit look haunted. Tell me who raised y'all, this behavior garbage. Laughing at depression, exposing folks' trauma. Then act shocked when tragedy follow behind you. The evil energy, boomerang proper. Come on, pull up silent like a midnight robber. And honestly, do you watch my live? I talk truth, pain, growth, tears, real vibes. Not everybody built for the games online. Some folks want insult from losing their mind. That's facts, no cap. Y'all did the humiliation. Every live stream feel like public execution. Views over souls, cloud over humans. Then wonder why the whole world mentally ruined. Somebody mama crying at night. Somebody daughter hurt inside. Somebody praying not to give up while bullets screenshot pain for life. Shame on you, shame. You need healing too. Only damaged people wake up daily, trying to damage others too. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Tearing them down. You don't know what they fighting when the live stream done. Keep killers acting tough online. Whole time spiritually broken inside. Karma don't miss, no. Karma don't skip souls either. Every hateful seed gon' meet the reaper. So to the hurt and bully people, listen close. You matter more than these demons online. These chicks bitter, these dudes weird. Obsessed every day, like why you still here? Refreshing my page while pretending you don't care. Whole personality built off hate and fear. Talk slick online, real life timid. Broken inside, everybody can feel it. Projecting their wounds while the comments all cheering. That ain't straight, baby, that sickness concealed. And I said what I said. Yeah, some of these creators need therapy bad. Not another live stream drag. Not another fake outrage cash grab scam. Y'all bully for a living. That's sad. Spirit look bankrupt, dusty and mad. And the people encouraging it just is trash. Laugh now. Karma got a long memory pad. Lord, cover the wounded, cover the lonely heart, cover the lonely heart, cover the people crying silently in dark rooms. Teach us compassion again. Teach this world mercy again. Because words cut deep, so deep. And some people never recover. To everybody bullied online, you are not weak because you hurt. You are not crazy because you feel pain. And don't let these empty souls convince you your life got no value. The loudest bullies usually fighting demons they never healed from. That ain't an excuse, but it's the truth. And to the bullies, get help, seriously. This obsession will tear his strangers apart every day. That ain't normal. Enough is enough. We need love more than ever now. More than ever. Too many souls out here barely hanging on somehow. No more glorifying pain for view. No more clowning her for revenue. No more mob attacks for entertainment. That darkness got consequences too. Karma don't miss. Karma don't miss. And healing still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Enough is enough. Spread love before it's too late. Yeah, before it's too late. They don't know her like I do. Nah. Golden. She moved through the city with her hair held high. Pretty brown skin with a storm inside. Everybody see the glow, they don't know the pressure. Smile so warm, but her heart no weather. Late nights riding while the skyline blur. Trying not to cry when the memories occurred. Had to learn fast, everybody ain't loyal. Some people love you long as they control you. Now she move careful, energy expensive. Too many fake vibes hiding in the friendship. Used to give love with her hands wide open. Now every scar got the whole vibe frozen. They don't know her like I. No, they don't know. She goes like golden, soft voice, deep soul, hope or glowing. She goes by golden. City lights dancing with her heart stay open. Long dark roads, but she still stay focused. Everybody watching, but they don't really know her. Like golden. Too much grace for the games they throwing. Real love, rare, so spirits they guarded. Beautiful soul, but the pain left marks in it. Mirror tell the truth when the lights go dim. All the things she carry weight heavy within. She survived nights she don't even speak on. Still finding peace what the whole world ain't wrong. Funny how the love disappear when you're healing. Funny how the fate come around when you win. Now she trusts God more than people intend. Just cause smiles hot and being hitting the big. She's still soft-hearted but she way less naive. Can't keep pouring love where there's nothing received. Still dancing slow through the hurt and confusion. Trying not to lose herself chasing illusions. She survived the fire. Still glowing through the smoke. Still sun. Still danger. still chosen. She goes back golden. So deep in the whole room noticed. Every lies couldn't break what was chosen. Still standing tall while the whole world folding. She goes back golden. Heartbreak turned to pens in the matter. Now the tears got written when she's singing. And they still don't know her like that. They still don't know her like that. Spend so much time looking for love in strangers. Spend so much time. Spend too much time letting outside voices shake the mirror. But at the end of the night, when the lights fade, when the city cried, when the tears dried, we still